Hello, Internet, and welcome to Conserving 915, America's #1 Latinx conservative talk show online. I'm Dave.
El Pinche Steve is here.
Hi, guys. I'm Ruben.
Hey, everybody. It's Angel.
Everybody, welcome to 2024.
We made it.
Ooh, what's up? Yeah. Election year. Yeah.
Who's ready? Let's get some.
It's going to get crazy, guys.
It's going to be huge.
Huge. It's going to be bigly.
The hugest. The hugest.
Hugest. Well, guys, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy day of the Epiphany to all of you who celebrate such things and observe the true feasts. And we have a few things to talk about today. Mm-hmm. First of all, breaking news. I don't know if you guys felt the disturbance in the force on January 3rd. But a big old group of House Republicans came to the border, specifically to Eagle Pass, Texas.
Oh, nice.
Right. Oh, you guys?
Oh, no. I actually hadn't heard about it.
They just came to check out the situation, the migrant crisis situation, to be exact. Mike Johnson, oh my God.
Is he the speaker?
Exactly.
Yeah, the speaker.
Yeah.
I couldn't. All right. Mike Johnson, the speaker, he wanted to show everybody, like, hey, this is what we're dealing with, and it's all Biden's fault. It's all his administration's fault. And I don't know if you guys are cool with Mike Johnson. I think he's okay. There's also some stuff that were kind of disappointing. He went he went kind of chill and Uni-Party for a bit there, just kowtowing to the Democrats.
And let me guess, just a bunch of spending, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all it boils down to, more spending.
Throw money at it. It solves everything.
Yep.
But at the very least, they are trying to bring a little bit more light to this border crisis situation, because it's not just because, the illegals, but like Angel had mentioned before, and we totally agree, the gross and inhumane conditions that the children are being put through, first and foremost. Yeah, because an open border only allows more and more bad behavior to occur. Bad people are going to take advantage of any situation. Mm-hmm. So these lawmakers came down here, around the area, I suppose, in Texas, just trying to open everybody's eyes. With all this being said, the White House did kind of do a little bit of retaliation, saying that, no, this is not the Biden administration's fault. This is you guys. Y'all's are the ones responsible for how bad this is getting, because you won't sign our bill. What bill is that? Well, of course, the House Republicans, they do push back on all this spending. We want to do, and Matt Gaetz, he actually did want to put this through this like kind of rule in the House, is just do single issues. Vote on single issues, get that approved. Not these big packages of everybody gets a little piece and then nobody's happy. Like that's ridiculous. That's a gross misuse of Congress.
These bills are like hundreds of pages long, right?
Dude, it's like
nobody really reads.
Nobody has the time to go through that much paperwork and then know exactly what's going on and what they're voting for, and it's just a yay or nay. I was like, no. Can we discuss this? There's never any time neither to discuss. Anyway, so the Biden administration is saying like, well, you guys are holding up the bill to help this immigration situation. Well, what's in the bill? Like, do you know what's in this bill?
I can guess, like all the other bills, it's a bunch of reckless spending.
Yeah, but specifically what the focus is of course
The immigration issue?
Immigration, yes. But the other main focus is foreign aid.
Foreign aid.
Specifically to Ukraine and Israel.
Isn't that a little bit telling?
How so?
Like, you're trying to pass a bill that's trying to improve the situation of our border, and you like put it next face to face with foreign aid. It's the same thing. Is that border issue is not going to be covered by the bill. It's just more aid to the foreigners.
I just tack that on everything that the Republicans want to really get done. And it's just a big travesty. And all we're doing is printing more and more money that we don't have, aiding people who really. What's the benefit of the U.S. aiding these countries? What's more important, their borders or our border? Where, I mean, the money gets supposedly gets generated to send out there. Like, maybe fix the U.S. first.
And I think that we're at an all-time high now with the debt ceiling. And from what I understand, it's like at least $100,000 per citizen. That includes all your nephews, your nieces, all the newborns, the moms and dads out there. Every single one of those people owes $100,000 right now.
So,
yeah.
damn.
Yep. 100,000. You heard me right.
We just printed it, paid off.
Oh yeah. And then once you pay off that entire debt, those eggs are gonna go up to like what, $10 a dozen. You know, gasoline will go up to $20 a gallon.
Oh, so then the paradigm is wrong. You know, they usually say each child comes with the loaf of bread under their arm. Now it's with $100,000 in debt.
Pretty much.
Oh, dang. We're bad. We're in bad situations.
It's like, one more push, Mary. Oh, it's beautiful. An invoice.
And the sad thing, dude, is like the majority of people are just trying to live their lives. I don't think they follow what the Federal Reserve is doing. I don't think a whole lot of people understand that when you print money without actually increasing like the product and the demand that the country's creating, the inflation takes over and houses double in price. The cost of living skyrockets. It just gets crazier and crazier. I don't know how much value the dollar has lost since like 1930 was like 98% or something. I don't know. I can't remember the exact detail, but what I'm saying is now I owe 100 G's for nothing that I can actually account for in my checkbook. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What we get out of it is the image of blowing up people.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. You're welcome, USA and citizens.
What worries me too is I've been hearing a whole lot of talk about maybe something happening this year, like an unfortunate event, like to our own people.
You mean people are gonna vote for Biden again?
Well, not only that too, but just the border is completely unsecure. You know what happens if somebody crosses that has negative intentions to the people of the United States, and that's another worrying thing too, man.
No, I think you're treading on conspiracy theory
okay.
territory.
Alex Jones style?
Yeah. I've seen the documents.
But the thing about it is that it's not a conspiracy if it's really happening.
If it's really no, it's not a theory if it's actually happening. Conspiracy. Well, if people, I think George Carlin said it. If the people in power, they know what way they're trying to get to, so they're kind of in agreement. They just kind of nod at each other. There's no conspiracy, man. No conspiracy needed. Everybody's on the same page.
Trust the professional.
Part of that big club that you're not part of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Trust the professionals
trust the science.
The experts.
The experts.
Oh no, we're in trouble, you guys.
Keep praying, everybody.
Of course. Well, what's really the solution here? This is just a bunch of infighting, finger pointing, and GOP wants to start an effort to impeach Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Which, he is not doing his job at all. Or maybe he is. He's doing the job that was assigned to him by the powers that be.
The people who built the cages, right?
Yeah. Who built the cages, Joe? But the job that's supposedly, in the description when he signed up, like the official job description, he's not doing any of that. He's not defending our borders. He's not defending the U.S. or the homeland. There's no security. Like you said, there have been whispers of. It's not just South Americans, obviously, that are coming through. It's people from.
There's tons of people from countries that don't necessarily like us.
That's putting it mildly.
Are there good people in there? I'm sure. Are there bad people in there? I'm sure. So
we're talking about Congress?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the. People
Oh no.
Oh,
We're talking about the people coming in.
Yeah, it's just.
I'm just being a silly goose.
Oh, okay.
Dude, and then the crazy thing too was I went to Mexico a couple months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't been there in
You went where?
probably at least a
Oh.
decade. Juarez.
Oh yeah, you just walked
Say it right.
20 minutes
Juarez.
into Juarez.
And it was crazy. Like on my way back, the inspector, I felt like I was being interrogated for like 10 minutes with a heat lamp and everything, just because I hadn't been there in a long time.
Yeah.
And he's asking me like, "Oh, when's the last time you came here? What are you doing here? What's in your bag?" But you got like thousands, hundreds of thousands of people just coming over, like no IDs, nobody's being interrogated. Like, "Oh, here you go. Here's your yellow manila envelope. Go ahead and hop on the flight, hop on your bus." And like to me, I just
And here's $10,000 cash.
Don't forget your cell phone.
the logic is just so crazy, man. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Are you an Android guy or an iPhone guy?
Here's your debit card, $500 preloaded. Here's a phone. Here's all your paperwork you need for the flight. Go ahead, go on your way.
We should just cross it without our IDs.
Well, you and me, since we're actual citizens, we're gonna get locked up in jail for 10, 20 years. And
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
Well, if it comes to pass.
So pretty much, it seems like you're describing it as a clown show, no?
Yeah, pretty much.
a Mickey Mouse operation, yeah.
So it's just I don't know, like the illusion of security, but
I feel like next time I need to book a flight somewhere, I'm gonna call Border Patrol and see where I can get a deal and hook me up. You know?
If I told you I don't have a social security number, can I get a deal?
Oh yeah, here's a debit card, Disneyland passes. You're good. You're good to go, brother. There you go. I'm like, oh yeah, thank you.
an attorney.
Why would you want to go to Disneyland?
Dude, and I'm gonna say this. I'm not saying this in a jealous way, but I'm the type of person that hasn't gone like on a whole lot of cool trips because I don't want to rack up debt. I don't want to be worried about having to pay like my monthly credit card bill. You know, like I'm really conservative on how I spend, and now I just feel like everything is going up on price. Everything's skyrocketing. In order like to do all this other crazy nonsense that's going on in the border, you know, like to me, it's I don't know, it's completely mind blowing. Like to see the value of my savings going down
Yeah,
due
like,
to the
what are
inflation.
we saving for? Like,
Yeah.
I have a 401k at work, and I'm like, every time I get like the statement saying you have X amount of dollars in your retirement plan, I'm like, oh, yeah, but that's worth crap.
Yeah.
Like when I actually have to use it, it'll be. Maybe I can get groceries that week. I don't know. By the time I have to.
Or maybe
use it.
just one refill of metformin that you're going to need once you're diabetic.
Oh. Why would you assume that I'm gonna be diabetic?
You're I don't know, maybe
Consider-
part of a class that's very prone to getting diabetes.
That's how
I
that
think
mice.
I think that's very racist of
So-
you guys.
Very, right? Very racist.
The other thing I was wondering, like I don't know how this works, and it's just from I really am having a hard time understanding this. I know a lot of these people coming in, they're sending them to New York
Among other
because
places.
they're a sanctuary city, which means they welcome pretty much anybody, which is cool. You know, that's how New York wants to. And I'm not even trying to make this a political thing, but what I'm having a hard time understanding is how New York is suing Texas for sending these people over there.
that want them.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I mean, people say one thing, but then they turn around and.
So what
They're like,
what
oh,
I'm thinking is,
I wasn't saying it for real.
who does Texas sue?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who do we sue?
You sue the federal government and then you get your own dollars and inflated dollars back.
No, it's just I'm really having a hard time understanding this. How
You're trying to square a circle, man.
you know it's just weird how New York is suing Texas. Yeah.
So wait, you mean that they declared themselves as sanctuary states, and yet they did not prepare any infrastructure in order to uphold that status
Yeah.
as a sanctuary state?
So I'm just having a hard time.
So
understanding.
it's lip service. It's all it is.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's
I don't know, it is.
politics.
And then you go into the whole
It's
thing
politics.
where I had thought about this, but I didn't. I know it's becoming a big deal right now because there's a representative that's actually trying to fix this. I think I forgot his name, but so all these people that are non-citizens are counted in the census, and that's how they get representatives.
Are they for real?
Yeah, they are.
Oh shit.
So they're counted in the census, and I never thought about it that much, but then the census gives you representatives, right? And the representatives give you electoral college votes.
So they're flying them to Republican cities or what?
Huh?
They're flying them to Republican zip codes and cities and.
Yeah, so that's just kind of, you know, when you figure, you know,
Or I
they
guess-
can't steal the election that obviously anymore. They need electoral college votes, right, to steal it.
No, but they don't like the electoral college.
Well, they'll like it once they start winning,
Yeah, right.
but like that. Which is, if you think about it, I mean, eventually they'll have the electoral college votes, plus the
The votes that are shipped in overnight.
so they'll win either way,
All right.
with a popular vote or electoral college votes.
So I heard.
So they're gonna cheat legally this time,
So
right? Well,
And you don't need an ID to vote, right?
no, because it'd be racist to
To be
ask for it.
it's racist. Well, I know that's what they're pushing constantly.
But right, in light of all this,
But you know what's weird? Like, sorry to interrupt, David, but I know it was a big deal when me and my brother were delegates a while back, and the Democrats were pushing that they didn't want an ID for you to vote. But yet, what was kind of ironic about this is that, and we were discussing it in our circle, that to attend the Democratic convention, you needed ID. You know what I mean? They all had IDs hanging on their neck. But yet to vote, at the general election, they don't want you to use an ID. But to attend their all their meetings or the delegate meetings and conventions, you need an ID to get into the Democratic conventions. Isn't that? I mean, how does that work?
well, Alanis Morissette has a song.
Isn't it ironic?
Yeah.
But I mean, is it right? I mean,
Well, in light of all this, I heard Argentina's doing pretty well.
you heard what?
Argentina's doing okay.
Oh.
How about we just move to Argentina?
You mean that guy with the chainsaw?
Yeah, that guy. Fuera! Izquierdistas! Let me. Yeah.
Beep. But are you a politician? Are you an expert in politics?
Am I an expert in politics?
Yeah.
No.
Then
but,
zip it.
I mean, I would
Zip
like
it,
to
zip
say I
it,
have some.
Zip it.
You can't say
A little bit
anything
of common
because
sense.
you don't have a college degree from Harvard or from our university.
Yeah,
Whatever.
all those.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
you don't have. So you
Nah,
can't say.
nah.
You can't say anything. You can't have an opinion.
We
okay?
have to trust the
Ruben?
experts.
You can't
You
say.
gotta
anything.
trust the science.
We gotta trust the science. We gotta trust all those studies they're pushing out. Yeah.
So if I think it's raining outside, I gotta look at the weather report first, too, just to make sure, right?
Yeah, because you can't trust your lying eyes or your lying face.
Somebody with a degree needs to tell me it's raining.
So talking about experts,
Yeah, man. So many experts everywhere. Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice for people to just tell you what you need to know?
and they're constantly making studies and studying things.
You know, studies show that people believe studies, right? You can't trust your own common sense and instincts as a human to know what's going on.
No, you can't.
No.
No, you can't. I mean, like, that's
can't
how
And
we.
then you
That's
go
how we
to the
got-
store and everything's
Didn't
a
you
lot
know-
more expensive, but Biden's people tell you that inflation is an all-time low,
All
right?
time low.
Yeah.
It only went up like.
It's an illusion, guys. When you go to the store and you don't buy as much, it's just an illusion. Inflation is all-time lows, man.
That's how we got out of the dark ages, man. In Europe, we just had a bunch of people doing studies.
Yeah.
Most Americans, they're not living paycheck to paycheck like they say.
But yeah, I'm glad this administration is keeping inflation.
At an all-time low.
Man. You know, I go to the store and I buy a bunch of stuff. I'm like, man, I better take advantage of this low inflation, man.
Of course, man. If it's inflating, that means it's growing, right?
It's like it's getting
Yeah.
better.
It's getting better.
This is not like golf.
It's not like what?
Golf.
Golf?
Yeah.
What does golf have to do
The
with
lower
it?
points that you have in golf, the better.
Oh, is that the way? Oh, no, I don't understand golf. I try playing. I don't make enough money.
You've
to play
never
golf.
seen. I was gonna say Billy Madison. You've never seen Happy Gilmore?
No.
Yeah, but I'm just laughing at the silly joke. Oh my God. But I'm saying I don't understand the game of golf. I've tried it, but you know, I can't afford golf. I go play basketball for free.
Nah, brother, like seriously, that whole trust the science thing. What I heard Fauci say, "I am the science." Whenever you hear people make statements like that,
That's
you have to
cringe.
believe like the exact opposite. Like, as soon as he said, "I'm not the science," the first thing that should have popped in your head is, "This guy's definitely not the science," you know.
He was the science made flesh.
And
You was a what?
He's the science made flesh.
And this is kind of sad, but I was asking you guys to pull this up. But so what you're looking at right here is actually an article from PubMed. And can you scroll up a little bit? So this is called "Why Most Published Research Findings Are False." This is by John P. A. Leonidas. It sounds like almost like Leonidas, right? And if you scroll down, this is actually
This
from
is
2005.
Loanitis, no?
No, Ionitis.
Leonidas, and this is from 2005. It's an old one, but just the amount of bias that goes into publications and how people are trying to
are
push.
these legit publications like what you're reading right now?
Yeah,
Is
this is talking
or is
about
this
like peer-reviewed
like
stuff.
tabloid stuff. Right?
No, this is peer reviewed.
No,
this
yeah,
is
this
from
is
PubMed.
So actually, that's a good point. This was published back in 2005. We'll put the link in the description so you can check it out yourselves. But that's really like yikes. It's very telling, of the times. Like this came out way before all this, specifically COVID mania happened. And
So this is 19 years ago, right? 2005? Was that what you said?
2005.
2005.
2005?
2005.
18?
2005?
2005.
You got it.
2005?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can math.
That was 19 years ago.
No, that I think that's a
I
testament
was
of
young back then. Wow.
Nice.
stop fantasizing about what you were doing back in the...
Time flies.
Anyway, I forgot what I was trying to say.
In any case, we'll put it on the description, and also just to let you guys know, this is from the National Library of Medicine. So, as we've have discussed, it is something that has been peer reviewed and published. Like, it's
Why would you want to read something that has piss all over it?
What?
What would you want to read? What?
Peer reviewed.
Peer review?
peer.
Come on, David. Seriously.
Peer.
I was
serious
like,
now?
what are you talking about? Hey, can you
We'll
scroll
cut
up one more
we'll
time?
cut that.
Yeah.
Don't cut it out.
Okay, we scroll down. Scroll down to the yellow part. Oh, okay, go down.
That's what I'm saying. The peer review.
Because I was like, what are you talking about, dude?
Look at the yellow part.
But why'd you say peer reviewed?
Because
Peer reviewed.
peer reviewed. but
P-E-E-R.
When you say it fast,
Peer reviewed.
peer reviewed.
Kind of like fish sticks?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
where the P
basically.
comes from.
I'm like, what?
That's where the P comes from. Fish sticks. Jesus. All right, so enough of this shenanigans. Go.
And this isn't a very, very, very new phenomenon, because I understand that a lot of old psychology texts are also based on a lot of falsehoods and false narratives and an agenda that was trying to be pushed by whoever was publishing these articles and these studies.
Kind of like lobotomies?
Well, lobotomies, and then
Phrenology.
another one too that's been coming out like a lot, that's gotten a ton of pushback with really with data and information from decades ago, is the whole trans thing. And I'm not going to talk a lot about that. I really would need to read up on that to discuss it. But I know that there's been a lot of people who said that a lot of the findings and the conclusions from those studies were completely made up, fake. And it turns out after follow-up, it was like the exact opposite of what was published. But anyways, I kind of wanted to read the summary of this specific publication from Mr. Last name sounds like Leonidas, right? Leonidas.
No, I think that's
I would say Loanitis.
I think that's
It's
an
an
I.
I. It's capital I. Yeah.
Oh, it's a capital I? Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ionitis. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Ionitis. Right. So anyway, there's increasing concern that most current published research findings are false. The probability that a research claim is true may depend on study power and bias, the number of other studies on the same question, and importantly, the ratio of true to no relationships among the relationships probed in each scientific field. In this framework, a research finding is less likely to be true when the studies conducted in a field are smaller, when effect sizes are smaller, when there is a greater number and lesser preselection of tested relationships, where there is a greater flexibility in designs, definitions, outcomes, and analytical modes, when there is greater financial and other interest and prejudice. That one's a biggie right there, especially today. And
Who's paying the researchers?
Yeah. And we might kind of go into a little bit more on that one, some of the next articles that I kind of wanted to talk with you guys about. And when more teams are involved in a scientific field in a chase of statistical significance. So a lot of the times, and I think this was another publication that I read where they're picking and choosing data kind of just to squeeze something in to make sure that it actually reaches a level of significance where they can actually say, oh yeah, A caused B, like we saw that there was a statistical significance in this study. And
Ignoring everything, no matter how big, that counters the outcome that they're looking for.
yeah, because some people say like, oh, well, if you would have done just a few more tests, you probably wouldn't have seen any statistical significance. I'm sorry, excuse me. But so just to wrap this up, moreover, for many current scientific fields, claimed research findings may often be simply accurate measures of the prevailing bias. So from here, I wanted to go on to a publication from, this is Breaking Discourse. This is the Substack of Peter McCullough. Florida Surgeon General calls for a complete halt on Pfizer and Moderna mRNA vaccines. If you can scroll down a little bit on this one, this was actually pretty interesting. So Dr. Joseph A. Ladapo is a Harvard-trained MD, PhD, and arguably one of the top experts on COVID-19 in the world. Prior to the Florida Surgeon General appointment, Dr. Ladapo was in academic practice at UCLA and published with Dr. John McKinnon, Dr. Harvey Risch, and of course, Dr. Peter McCullough. So on December 6, 2023, State Surgeon General Dr. Joseph A. Ladapo sent a letter to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Dr. Robert Califf, and Center for Disease Control and Prevention Director Dr. Mandy Cohen regarding questions pertaining to the discovery of DNA process-related impurities found in the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 mRNA vaccines.
What? Oh, jeez.
So Ladapo's concerns center around lipid nanoparticles laced with simian virus 40 SV40, promoter, enhancer, origin of insertion DNA sequences widely distributed through the body. SV40 is a known promoter of proto-oncogenes.
Oh, just what does that mean for anyone that has no freaking clue what you just
Like
read?
kind of like me. This is like.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but Ruben's eyes just kind of glazed over.
So when I saw this earlier today, it just kind of reminded me of months and months, maybe a couple years worth of the mainstream media. I think doctors just going on the web telling patients like, oh, and by the way, this is not medical advice. This is just the opinion of one El Pasoan that's kind of asking, hey, what the heck is going on here? But we kept on hearing that it was safe and effective, that nobody was going to get injured.
Trust the science, kind of?
Yeah, trust the science. Fauci is the science, which, recall, when people say that, it's pretty much the opposite.
Red flag.
For years, we heard this was safe and effective. Like, we could probably even like pull up a collage or something or link a collage on the show notes. But the proto-oncogenes is pretty much something that promotes the generation of cancers. So this, unfortunately, these vaccines, as this article says, they were laced with simian virus 40, SV40.
Which ones specifically?
Oh, sorry. You mind scrolling up one more time? It looks like we were looking specifically at all the way to the top, brother.
Oh, that's right.
So
No, you didn't mention it.
A halt on Pfizer and Moderna mRNA
Pfizer
vaccines.
and Moderna. So if you took any of these, I mean, maybe you want to talk to your doctor about it.
And I'm not even sure if they know, because I don't know if you all recall, but the vaccine inserts themselves and the package, they were all completely
already
blank.
Okay.
They actually didn't have any information for the doctor that they could share with the patient, or the patient can actually take the insert home with them and actually be able to read it. But typically, whenever you do get like a vaccine, a standard vaccine, that wasn't rushed, I guess through warp speed and all that, you would be able to ask your local pharmacist for a copy of that insert, and you'd be able to read all the side effects that you could potentially get after being vaccinated. Mm-hmm. So and I'm not sure if it's changed now that Comirnaty's out, but for the longest time also they were saying like, oh no, you're crazy. Getting the vaccine does not promote myocarditis, or you can't get myocarditis, which is pretty much inflammation of the heart, you know? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now, if you actually go to the Comirnaty website, they'll specifically point out that there's a potential risk of getting the myocarditis after being vaccinated.
Well,
but,
specifically in males from a certain age, no?
Yes. So males, and this one I might be a little hazy. I don't know if we can look it up. You mind looking it up? So it's Comirnaty.com. For the longest time, people were saying, nah, the vaccines are not causing myocarditis. Nobody's getting injured from them. But sure enough, we're seeing a little bit of information coming out. And now Comirnaty. ATY, yes, sir. Scroll down a little bit. There it is, Comirnaty.com, the fourth one. There you go.
Oh, this is an official website, right?
Yes, sir. This is the actual official website from the manufacturer. So we're going to go ahead and look at the adverse events. Oh, here we go. The safety information. So do you see the third bullet? Authorized or approved mRNA COVID-19 vaccines show increased risks of myocarditis, inflammation of a heart muscle, and pericarditis, inflammation of the lining outside the heart, particularly within the first week following vaccination. And remember, guys, per the CDC, you're actually not considered vaccinated until after the second week. So here, per the manufacturer themselves, they're telling you that the odds of that there's a increased risk of getting myocarditis and pericarditis within that first week following the vaccination. Furthermore, thank you, Steve, for highlighting that. For comorbidity, the observed risk is highest in males 12 through 17 years of age. So as you can see there's a whole long list of other adverse effects. But this is all stuff that apparently, according to the mainstream media, was all conspiracy, fake, lies. But
It's completely safe, effective. You're not going to get COVID, by the way. And if you do, you won't end up in the hospital.
Yeah.
That was the narrative that was spun.
And Steve is still scrolling. Maybe you'll be able to see it, but as you can see, there's even more and more reactions.
I mean, yeah, we'll also just leave the link in the description so you guys can check it out at your leisure.
And I just wanted the reason why I read that first PubMed article was because things really haven't changed a whole lot. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of bias in publications, and people, some people can be bought, be paid for, and some people, and who knows? I mean, I'm not saying that these people were bought out. Maybe people didn't do their due diligence. They just didn't know. It was poor quality control. Were you going to say something, David? Because I wanted to go to another PubMed.
No, go ahead.
Can you go to the other PubMed article? And like I said, per Dr. Latipo, these vaccines happen to be contaminated, but what we're looking at now is vaccine contamination causes and control. So this is another article with regarding to the vaccines. So this, the background says, in August 2021, 2 Japanese men, aged 38 and 30, died within days after receiving their second dose of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. Both had been vaccinated with the same lot of the vaccine. Further investigation revealed that some black substances were spotted in syringes and a vial with pink substances found in another syringe. A good understanding of vaccine manufacturing, quality control, incident investigation, and pharmacovigilance is helpful in determining if vaccine contamination was the cause of death in these cases. So it just kind of goes to show you that there's a ton of factors that are going on. And luckily, there are some countries that were doing a little bit of quality control. Japan, for instance, they actually ended up returning 1.8 billion vials, which they found to be contaminated with some sort of a substance.
Good for them, man.
Yeah.
Out
And,
of how many?
yeah, that's a good
I
question.
mean, because, 1.8 billion, you said with a B?
Can you mind clicking on the Reuters just to make sure I know my stuff? Okay. So they suspended the use of 1.63 million doses of Moderna, and I thought it was 1.8. Can you scroll up to the top? Okay, so it's 1.6. I was off by 0.2.
So let's go back. So 1.6 million vials were found contaminated. So out of how many? I mean, we're not sure, but just imagine. I mean, if Japan saw that many contaminated, I mean, what other country, including ours, just maybe they didn't do the due diligence that you were saying that should be done, especially for something that's going to go into people's bodies. Be it vitamins or a friggin' medicine or insulin, whatever, anything that gets put into people's bodies, there has to be a certain standard of quality control that obviously Japan just happened to notice isn't being followed through with.
And there could be a lot of factors to this story. If we can, so we're looking at the potential solutions from the previous PubMed article. But according to this publication, the vials rely on stoppers and seals which serve to protect the contents and ensure closure integrity. For example, for the COVID-19 vaccine vials, Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna use synthetic bromobutyl and chlorobutyl rubber stoppers, respectively, along with plastic flip-off caps. In contrast, contamination of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine in Japan appears to have resulted from incorrectly inserted needles, causing bits of the vial rubber stopper to break off. Thus, a coating barrier layer applied to the rubber stopper that could act as a barrier to the coring or transfer of elastomer components to the vaccine is crucial. But it just kind of goes to show you that there's multiple factors that go into how vaccines could potentially affect people. Like here, maybe that rubber stopper, some of the black material actually got into the vaccine, and who knows, maybe it could,
maybe the vaccine itself was clean, but even then,
and then we're looking,
incorrectly inserted needles can also be a factor. Like even if everything is on the up and up, somebody just, I don't know, isn't paying attention, just lackadaisically puts a needle in, and the patient or the person ends up with particles of these
or
synthetic materials.
Or in Dr. Latipo's case, where he stated that it was contaminated straight up with SB40, and
What is that?
The simian virus 40.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
That was the proto-oncogenes. Yeah.
When you say simian, is it like the monkey virus, right?
yes.
Yes.
So it just, and the reason I wanted to bring this up is I think it all goes back to the very, very first article, that a lot of people will say certain things without actually knowing if they're 100% true. And in science, there's always like a little bit of an uncertainty there. I'm not sure that you'll ever be able to find somebody that says with 100% fact that
This is settled science.
yeah, settled science. Like when somebody tells you the science is settled, it's not settled. I'm not sure like any true scientist would ever tell you with 100% certainty, 100% confidence that something is settled, like unquestionable.
Yeah, that's their
Don't
idea.
even bring it
That's
up.
their ideology peeking out.
That's why they always provide
Ego.
statistics and percentages.
Exactly. And which is really, really interesting because I think I've previously seen some legislative testimony from people who had adverse effects, and patient after patient, they're always saying, oh yeah, I told my doctor about it and he said that there was absolutely no way that the vaccine caused it. Well, how do they know that? Like what kind of long-term studies? Because people have only been vaccinated for a couple of years. What are the long-term studies? What are the short-term studies? I mean, I'm pretty sure the majority of doctors out there have not gone through the actual study data, and like looked at it themselves. And it just, this whole narrative, and I mean, am I wrong that these guys were saying it was safe and effective for years and there was no issues, and now
And then anyone that said otherwise was shut down immediately.
Yeah.
Or shunned.
Well, even if you didn't take the vaccine, they're pretty much.
I don't know
Ostracized.
I don't know if you guys experienced it. I did a little bit with people that I know. They're like, "You're vaccinated, right?" I was like, "Me personally, no." Well, obviously, I have the shots from
childhood,
from childhood.
the childhood vaccine schedule.
But not these new shots. I don't have those. I never got them, and I didn't think it was for me, personally. And yeah, I would get the, oh my God, how could you? Don't you care? Don't you care about your health? Well, I mean, look at me. I'm a little bit on the chubby side. Of course, I could take better care of myself. But just specifically about this substance, I was like, nah, I'm not having that. Even though people were like, at first they were like, but it's, if Trump made it, because Trump's gonna be in a lab like mixing beakers and stuff. But they said they called it the Trump vaccine. That's gonna be like, oh my God, I'm never gonna take it because if Trump tells me to take it. But then as soon as
Biden comes in.
Biden comes in, they're like, no, you have to, and you have to. To be part of society, you have to take it.
And like the ridiculous emotional pleas from Rachel Maddow, from Biden. Once you get the vaccine, you can't get sick. It turns out that these guys were getting just as sick as the people who were not vaccinated.
And then they said you won't get as sick, right? When you still.
Yeah, and then as soon as everybody that was vaccinated
started getting sick.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna get hospitalized. Well, because a lot of people probably died before they made it to the hospital. It's craziness. But
Safe and effective.
It's
again, this is not medical advice. None of the four of us on this panel are doctors. This is just something that's been like really evolving. Dr. Latipo is a doctor, obviously, but this is something that I find very interesting that's been evolving over the past couple of years, where a lot of the people who were highly respected people, probably even respected in your community, who were offering medical advice to you, totally fell for this sham. Like to me, it appears to be a sham, in my opinion. And this development, for me, it's sort of shaken the trust that I had also in the medical field itself as well, And also there's a ton of good doctors out there. Peter McCullough is awesome. Dr. Latipo is awesome.
Obviously, there's a great number of doctors that are doing a good job, because there's people that are not dying every day. But I mean, that doesn't mean we can't notice. Like, that's the thing. We're not doctors, but we're a group of people that are like, hey, we're noticing a little something. Like, can I point out this thing that I'm noticing, or can't I? Even if I don't have that paper, we can print some out. We can print out some degrees, no, from made up university.
I'm just saying, if Rachel Maddow can tell you that you're not going to get the COVID after being vaccinated, then I think I'm allowed to say that this is like really, really strange. And a lot of the stuff that we've been hearing from the mainstream media over the past couple of years doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense now. That's what I'm trying to say.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
No, dude.
Okay. Oh, you just shot me down like mercilessly. Good Lord.
I guess so.
Anything you want to add, Ruben?
No, I just don't think, like, I'm not gonna, like, I don't think I'm anyone to tell people do it or don't do it, or I don't think any of us are trying to say that, but I'm just saying, like, people that weren't taking the vaccine, I just remember,
like somebody with a leper.
like you were doing something really, really bad because you don't want to get vaccinated. And to me, it's just, like, people that were vaccinated, why were they worried about people that weren't vaccinated? If you were already vaccinated, you're good, right? But
yeah, that was the thing. Like, oh, but it's because I'm worried about you and your safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because that actually, I did have that conversation. Somebody was like, I can't believe that you're not vaccinated and all that stuff. And I was like, well, you are. So then you got nothing to worry about, according to everybody. According to all the...
According to Rachel Maddow.
Yeah, Rachel.
Rachel Maddow.
But then that was the counter argument. But no, it's not just about me. It's about you and your safety and all that stuff. It's like, yeah.
And you know what? People mean well. Like, I really don't think there's... When it comes to this, I don't think anyone was trying to be bad or evil. Like, I think people genuinely care about each other. You know what I mean? But it was just, when you weren't vaccinated, or, it was like you were like a really, really, really bad guy. And you know what? I don't know about these studies. I have my opinion, but I mean, like, right now, who knows? Maybe, I don't know. I was gonna say people's lives might be saved, but it's just even the insurance companies and stuff. There's so many more deaths than a average year. You know what I mean?
That, and
so
it's kind of current in the
it
working
could have
age
been a lot of
groups.
things, solar flares, a lot of different things. I don't know, but it's just, it is a coincidence, So. And so for people to decide on their own, I guess.
And like, if people are interested out there, there's actually some really cool studies on this too. But apparently, people with optimized levels of vitamin D were less likely to be hospitalized. I think people who were like on a plant-based or pescatarian diet were actually less likely to be hospitalized. And of course, causation or
correlation
is not causation. Yeah, thank you. But vitamin D, definitely make sure you're getting your sunshine. Actually, no, wait, hold on. I'll take that back, because we're not going to give out any medical advice. But from what I understand, sunshine is really good for you, and so is vitamin D.
Well, everybody, thank you for joining us. Be sure to leave a comment if you disagree, if you agree, if you think, I don't know, if there's something that you want us to cover, maybe. I don't know. Or whatever it is, if you want to compliment us on our good looks, that's also a very nice thing you can do in the comment section. Give a like, subscribe, share the show with your friends, and we'll be uploading more soon. Thank you.
Live long and prosper.
You nerd.